Good afternoon, CFM. This is Coach Matt with our Monday workout for the 12th of May. And just a couple things to note about this week. Number one is I am still very much recovering from my elbow surgery. So some of the movements that I demonstrate will be either a single arm version, or I'll let you know what I'm doing wrong that you will be expected to do correctly because you have normal elbows versus me. So some of the stuff will be a little bit artificial, but I will still try to go through and demonstrate and talk about the right technique on all these things. That'll get better and better as the weeks go past. And then number two is that this week is not an official deload week. However, I want everyone to note that the difficulty level will be slightly reduced this week in anticipation of our testing week, which is the following week. All right, so that will play into the lifts, it will play into the Metcons, and my recommendation to you is if you are really looking forward to testing week and you want to test out your benchmarks, that this week you intentionally just take 20% off the top, 30% off the top, do all the exercises, do the movements, but don't try to win, don't try to PR. Just try to get all the work done this week, and you'll be set up really well and more recovered and ready to go for a higher level performance for next week, okay? All right, so let's begin today. This is Monday. We're gonna start off with a relatively longer warm-up, so it'll be 3 rounds through, a 600, a 400, and then a 200-meter run to start each round. And then we're gonna come back inside and we do these teapot walking lunges. So whichever leg I'm stepping forward with, so all right, I'm stepping forward with my right leg, so I'm going to punch my hips out to the right, and I'm gonna pivot down and try to touch the ground on the left-hand side, right? And I should feel that hip on the knee that is touching the ground extend and open, so I'm stretching that adductor muscle as well as the glute on the side of the leg that's forward. So I'll do that teapot and then step up, and then the other side, do that same thing, do the teapot and then step up, okay? Next one will be a 40-foot bear crawl, so that's just planting hands on the ground and walking, crawling forward with your knees bent. And then the next one is our eight reps of a bench T-spine opener. So my palms are up, right, at about shoulder width apart, and I'm putting my elbows on the bench, and then I'm gonna try to dive my head all the way past my elbows, and I'm just flexing and extending my arms with my elbows touching the bench, and you should feel a really good stretch in the middle of your armpit there when we do that one. Last one is pogo hops, and then coach's challenge is trying single leg pogo hops. So we are practicing some jump rope ankle skills when we do these pogo hops, because it's not just jump and point my toes, it's jump and then immediately pull my toes away from the ground. That's called dorsiflexion, if you ever heard that. But we're trying to jump. It's like when you punch, you immediately pull back. So same thing, when you jump, you should immediately pull your toes away from the ground. And functionally, what you can imagine this doing is if you don't have to jump any higher, but you make an extra 2 inches underneath your feet for that jump rope, think about how much less you would trip on your jump rope if you have 2 extra inches of room underneath your feet every time you jump, just because you pulled your feet away from the floor when you're jumping. It just takes thought, it takes practice to do that, right? And you have to be intentional in your warm-ups, right? But that is a very easy, it's kind of like free energy that you can get. It's not totally free, but you don't have to jump any higher to get more clearance underneath your feet. So a lot of times people think they need to jump higher, and that makes them jump slower. You can jump fast and still get that room underneath your feet if you'll just pull your toes away from the ground. Hopefully that helps you out for the double unders later in this workout. Next one we're gonna go into is our strength work. Snatch grip deadlift, and we're on the deload cycle of deadlifts, right? So we're just doing an alternate movement, and we're doing a little bit less weight, right? And this one is gonna have a tempo to it. So snatch grip means my hands are all the way out by the ends of the barbell. Some of the taller people will be like almost touching the collars. Everybody else maybe a couple inches on the inside of the collars. And then the rest of the movement is exactly the same. I just perform my deadlift. And on this one, the tempo trick is going to be a freeze for 3 seconds at that mid-knee position with the shins vertical, lots of tension in the hamstrings, and then squeeze and stand to the top, okay? So 6 reps of a snatch grip deadlift with a pause on the ascent at the middle of your kneecaps for 3 seconds, all right? So a deadlift, pause, and then finish. The superset is going to be, did I show everything? I think I did. Oh, I feel like I missed something. No, I didn't. Here we go. Okay. This is it. mini band. This is the superset for every set of deadlifts, right? We're doing 4 sets of deadlifts. I want the mini band to be somewhere in your forearms. And what we're doing is trying to push my arms apart so that they're approximately the same width as my shoulders. And I'm gonna take that structure and I'm gonna take it over to the wall, lean into the wall, and then just slide the wall distance apart. Don't let that band close my hands together, and try to reach until my straight and I touch my forehead to the wall right in between my arms, okay? And you should feel this in those rotator muscles on the back and the side of your shoulders. And that's our superset. When we finish all of the deadlifts, we're gonna move to a 12-minute EMOM. So this is 3 times through a little 4 exercise rotation. So 4 times 3 is 2, 4 times 3 is 12. I'm awake, I promise. The first minute is going to be just double under practice. So you got a minute, you got a block of time. All I want you to do is practice your double unders. Coaches will be coming around to assess individual technique. Say like sometimes it is like keeping your elbows close to your body. Sometimes it's jumping a little bit higher, or jumping a little bit quicker. Sometimes it's your timing that can mess with you. Sometimes it's the wrist direction. A lot of times people just go up and down and they should be going in a circle with their wrists. Okay, there's lots of little technique points that can help you to get those double unders. Or if it is just the double tap drill where we jump and tap your legs twice in order to establish that cadence, it's another good drill to do in order to improve your double unders. The next one is going to be a 40-second AMRAP of V sit-ups, right? So I'm on the ground performing my V sit-ups. 40 seconds, as many reps as I can get, even if I have to take a break in the middle, we'll do that. Next one is a single leg deadlift isometric, right? So for this one, if you need something to balance on, you can take something to balance on, but I would like to see the bottom position of the deadlift, the single leg deadlift, and held here for 15 seconds. So this is a tension position, isometric position. This is not an easy grounded position where I'm resting on the ground. This is a tension position where gravity is resisting me, and I have to hold that horizontal position of leg and back at the same time for 15 seconds per leg. The last one is going to be an L sit. So you can do a couple different versions of this. I'm gonna kind of simulate it because I can't support myself yet on it, but the bench is a great one to do because I can just shrug down into the bench and then pull my legs off the ground, or if I can just get one foot off the ground and tippy toe on the other one, that's fine. And if your arms are not long enough in order to get your butt off the ground, then you can put like a dumbbell on either side of you, or you could put a plate on either side of you, and you can still do it from there, okay? Obviously, if you can hold your legs out in front of you, right, that is the most challenging position. And if you can drop one leg or alternate legs, right? But try to get as much challenge as you can for 15 seconds 2 times. So it'll be 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off, and after that we reset back to the double under practice. So you're gonna get 3 rounds through all those 4 exercises, all right? And that is it for this Monday. Hope you have a great one. I'll see you guys on Tuesday.